It's now everywhere. Parliament kakasizza nti terina buyinza bukola kintu kyonna okuggyako okwogera obwogezi. Parliament has no powers to do anything. Just talk, and anything beyond talking, nothing can be done. They'll just talk, and do nothing. Kikakasiddwa olwaleero Speaker of Parliament wasazeewo n'agamba nti tebalina buyinza, tewali kye basobola kukola ku ebyo ebyasaliddwawo kkooti. Kuba kkooti yasazeewo nti kkooti y'amagye teriwo mu mateeka, eriwo bumenyi bw'amateeka, n'olwekyo eveewo ne beyasiba beerinayo abasibe ba National Platform, Besigye, ba political prisoners, bonna bayimbulwe kuba tebalina musango na gumu gwe bazza baasibibwa mu bumenyi bw'amateeka. Parliament bagisabye teka akazito ku gavumenti ya wano egoberere kye kyasaliddwawo kkooti. Omanyi Speaker kyagambye, mukimanyi bulungi tetulina buyinza bukola kintu kyonna okuggyako okwogera. N'oyimirira n'oyogera n'okulaba nti nno wayogedde, n'ogenda ku record nti nno wayogedde, naye tuwa kye tusobola kukola n'ekimu. Kyonna kitabudde abaka ba Parliament bagamba, why are we here? If we are just here to talk and do nothing, why do we come here? Why do we waste our time? Lwaki tujja ntumala obudde bwaffe nga tumanyi tetuliwo kye tuyinza kukola n'ekimu. Lumu Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobo yavaayo n'agamba nti Parliament is useless. Tewali kyesobola kutuyamba. Tulina okuggyako nakimalira Museveni tutereeze ebyobukulembeze bw'eggwanga Uganda. Olwaleero ekivuddeyo mu reality nti nno Kyagulanyi alabira wala era yagamba Parliament is nothing. Okujja nga tujjako Museveni Uganda bw'ejja okutereera. Kyeyolese kaato olunaku lwaleero. Nyamutwale mu Parliament olabe Speaker bwakawaŋŋamudde nti tewali kye basobola kukola, ne banoogera ne bazibya obudde ne babukeesa, tewali kye bajja kukola nga gye Museveni tasazeewo. Wulira ebigambo.
Yeah. Now, Honorable Atkins, I really feel for you, my honorable colleague. But the problem is, where do we stop as Parliament? Parliament cannot implement court orders. Parliament, when your people ask you what you've done, you tell them you've spoken. And you raised the issues, because that's all I can do. I don't think I can close Parliament. I say we now go in protest. We were not party to this case. We were just interested as Ugandans. We tasked the Attorney General yesterday to come here and explain. Colleagues, there are things, I mean, that's where our powers here can stop. Can stop. I cannot start now saying you're in contempt, you're in what, no. Okay, we were not even served because we are not parties. So all we are hearing, please let the parties to the case handle this matter. I request honorable colleagues, let the parties to the case handle this matter.
Now, let me ask my question. What's the use? What's the purpose of the Parliament of Uganda? Why do we pay this collection of people? Bunch of useless people. If you are there doing nothing, you can't do anything. Why do we pay you? Kyekibuuzo kyange. Lwaki tumalanga obudde n'ensimbi z'omiwa omusolo okuteekawo ekintu ekiri useless completely nga ne commander in chief waakyo Speaker avaayo n'ategeeza ensi nti they have nothing to do apart from speaking. They can't do anything. But you are the one who's set rules, set laws for these other organizations. You are the ones who streamline the courts of law. Without you, they can't do anything. They can't function. You are the ones to streamline the executive. Without you, it can't function. You are the ones to streamline the army. Without you, they can't function. Now, you come here and see our workers just to talk and do nothing. Imagine. Hey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a way of procedure still, when, Mr. Speaker, you talk about the helplessness of Parliament, you really worry me, Mr. Speaker.
No, just wait a bit, Honorable Namboze. I didn't say Parliament is helpless. What I said is Parliament can only go Parliament can only exercise the powers it has. Okay, and this is a matter where we are not parties. This is a matter where we are not parties. So I don't know, what do you want Parliament to do?
Mr. Speaker, I refer to Article 79 that talks about the function of Parliament and the oath we took when we are joining this August House, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, we are required, in my own interpretation, for which you can still guide me, Mr. Speaker, that we are supposed to do all within our means to safeguard the Constitution of Uganda and to make sure that this country is governed democratically and in accordance to the laws of the country. And Mr. Speaker, through our various organs of this Parliament, I think, Mr. Speaker, that we can do more than talking, in that, Mr. Speaker, this is the House, first of all, that has a group of people together who have taken an oath to defend the Constitution. And whenever the Constitution is under attack, the Parliament of Uganda, in my own understanding, is supposed to be at the forefront in safeguarding the Constitution and fighting for its implementation in totality. So, Mr. Speaker, when you said that ours, that we should go back and tell our people that we talked about it and that is all we can do, Mr. Speaker, I want you to guide me. If there isn't any other way, Parliament can demonstrate, can act. For example, Mr. Speaker, these are institutions whose budget is approved by this House. These are institutions to which we are supposed to call out oversight laws over them, where we can, Mr. Speaker, summon people here. So, Mr. Speaker, I want, as a whole procedure, to guide me if it is wrong for me to assume that this House can do much, much more than talking when somebody is violating the Constitution of this country, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Now, honorable colleagues, this case had parties. Okay? The parties to the case are handling their issues. Parliament has not received any formal communication from any of the parties that, please help us, we are stuck. Yes, because they have their lawyers, they speak through their lawyers, we can handle issues formally. Number two, if there is any contempt or what, if there is any contempt and issues of playing around with the judgment, and the same court, you go to the same court and it will give you solutions. Very simple. The individuals who can be accused of contempt will be held liable. But as of now, Parliament here, apart from us really eating more time and going on record that we spoke, I can tell you there is nothing we are going to do beyond speaking. I'm being honest. In my tribe, we are very honest people. In Parliament, we only talk. In Parliament, we can't do anything beyond talking. We only talk. And I want to be honest to you. So if you think I will send some of you to go and capture people, I won't. Here we only talk, and you should know your power is for talking and coming up with resolutions. Okay? Honorable Semuju.
Mr. Speaker.
But imagine the war speaker to speak to members of parliament that they are useless apart from talking. Your job, your work is to talk, pass resolutions, and that's all. Nothing you can do beyond that, bro. You mean the parliament can't disinfunction the government? That this government where it's going is where it's supposed to be going, then the president must step down, the president must go down. You mean Parliament can't call to action the president? Parliament can't call to action the army? Parliament can't call to order courts of law? That's how useless parliament is that they can't even put a sounding action to some organizations, and for it, hey, Kyagulanyi yabagamba the parliament is a bunch of useless fools that sit there. It can't help us in any way. Now bakigiddeyo nti parliament is useless, bro. Bageza okwogera okulaga muna Uganda nti parliament terina mugaso, terina kyeyamba, terina kyegenda kugattako ne bw'onoomala obudde n'obukapa emikapo tulina parliament abaka baffe nye, they are useless. They won't help you in any way. They are just eating your money for nothing. Now, what's the purpose of parliament?
I want to thank you for clarifying, because the Honorable Numbers, I share her understanding of your communication, i.e., that your communication until you clarified meant that Parliament is helpless. That's why I'm thanking you for clarifying. I have been here for a while. There was a time a colleague was arrested in total violation of the Constitution. The Speaker of Parliament then said, we will suspend the sitting of Parliament until that MP is released. And the Parliament was suspended and he was released. Mr. Speaker, I fear when you say that our power stops just by talking. And I also fear, Mr. Speaker, when you limit the judgment of the Supreme Court to the parties. This judgment is for the whole country and is for everybody to do under Article 3 of the Constitution whatever it takes to defend the Constitution. You see, the trouble is that we may think this is limited to SJ and Ajobed Dutare and NUP supporters who are there. There will be time when they will be coming for you. I told you in Ruzira where I was, Jim Mwezi had been. So was Gilbert Bukenya. Kutesa nearly came. I saw the other day when Honorable Akamba was being grabbed as a chicken thief. These things, the reason we must fight, they are not limited to the victims of today. Tomorrow you are going to be the victim. Wait, Honorable Bua, when they are taking you and you are crying. I visited Honorable Kurisi Wariomus at Jinja Road. They had even denied him slippers, that giant man. And the Honorable Nabukenya here is the one who stood surety for Chris.
Point of order.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have always attempted to live within the laws of the land. Is it in order for my honorable colleague to wish me bad luck in anticipation of me? Is it in order really?
I think these are issues we can resolve under Matoput arrangement. And, but Honorable Semuju, I just beg for one thing, okay? Make it very easy for me. What do you want us to do as Parliament? In practical terms.
I have a motion, Mr. Speaker, to suspend the sittings of Parliament. I thought we have discipline. If one MP is speaking, even if you want, here people speak by expressing interest. They don't shout like they are in a market.
Now I don't know, on record, I don't know whom we can record that you are quarreling with.
It is very difficult.
So continue.
It is very difficult, Mr. Speaker, to record the people who are shouting like my neighbor from Kabola. It's very difficult. But the point I am making, and I am sorry if the Honorable Government Whip took it that way, but where you are seated, SJ used to sit as the State Minister for Internal Affairs. He actually was the chief he was political commissar of the party where they have accommodated you. He started it by risking his own life. So when I am inviting you, I am not undermining you. I'm only reminding you that one day they may treat you the way they are treating USG. So that's the point I made.
But
so
wish
Mr.
him
Speaker,
well. Wish him well.
No, I want to invite him to join the war to defend the Constitution. I don't have to wish him well. So if you defend the Constitution, you will not be a victim. But even if I wish you well, I wish USG well every day. I didn't know he will be in Ruzira.
So, honorable colleagues, please time.
My motion, Mr. Speaker, is that you suspend the sittings of Parliament until government commits itself to full implementation of the judgment of the Supreme Court.
But there is a motion on the floor. Yes. The motion does not fall within the ambits of 59(1)(k). Yeah, so I'm sorry about that.
Procedure.
You read rules of motions without notice. Okay? So, please, let me allow Honorable Jonathan Odur.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in my thinking, when we sit in this House, we expect the executive to be answerable to the issues and that has been raised by members from both sides. I really empathize with you, Mr. Speaker, when I see you are laboring to explain things that are really not in your hands, and we have a competent bench of ministers here who are the ones responsible for execution, including holding people on remand and releasing them. The orders that the Supreme Court made, and I've picked one, and for me, the orders of the Chief Justice, given that he's the one who wrote the lead judgment, the rest of the justices agreed with him and added. One was that the files, the cases be transferred. Now, the lawyers who are here know that once that order is made, the registries, we would have expected the court-martial registry to write a cover letter with all the files to the chief registrar if they don't know which particular court to transfer. So, we are blessed with the presence of the Attorney General here. And it is now day 3 of that. We expect the Attorney General to update us that so far we have transferred this number of files, or by tomorrow we would have transferred this number of files, so that at least we are comforted that some steps, because on that particular one, I'm not talking about release. I'm not talking about release. I'm talking about the transfer, which is outside of files, which is not in the realms of the two parties. I expect the Attorney General to address us on that matter so that we don't go back and forth, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, I think, Honorable Jonathan, you've made it very easy. The problem, a member cannot come on point of procedure, I go to the minister to answer. Because procedure is for me, how I'm running the House here. So the colleagues, the questions they were asking were all on procedure. But I think this should have been the question. Honorable Attorney General, update us. You updated us yesterday, we understand, but what are the new developments? So Attorney General? Yeah. And honorable colleagues, I've closed procedure on this matter. On this matter, I have closed procedure. Please.
Honorable Speaker, I firstly want to implore you to tap into your patience abilities, and I know you can really be patient. I just want to encourage you to bear with the members and exercise a lot more of the patience which I credit you for having. Our roles in this House are 4 cardinal roles. Number 1 is legislation. Number 2 is oversight. Number 3 is the budgetary process. Number 4 is representation. Honorable Speaker, in this House, members raise anything and everything for as long as they are representing, even if it is one individual. And that's why members keep raising this issue again and again, because there seems to be no end in sight. They are playing their cardinal role of representation. And as one colleague has mentioned, this goes beyond Dr. Kizza Besigye, the NUP, political prisoners, and others. It's for all of us that the Supreme Court of the land issued a directive, and to date there is ping pong. Honorable Speaker, each day that passes by, people are suffering, and yet they should not. And that's our concern. So the reason people keep raising this matter, and I want to appreciate colleagues who keep raising this matter. I know, right, Honorable Speaker, you're saying they keep raising it so that they are seen to talk. Well, we come here to talk on behalf of people out there. And like I said, even if it is one person, we should fight for the right of that one individual. Honorable Speaker, government needs to help us. Because yesterday we were with the Attorney General. He did not help us. I think he was being quixotic on many things. Back and forth, saying this, that, and the other. And so there was no end in sight. I'm hoping that the Deputy Attorney General, who is here, will help us to shape up, whether it be some kind of timeline, whether it be some kind of hope, that what the Supreme Court ordered is going to be followed. That's the cry of us, right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. And I really want to appreciate you, because the same with Honorable Dur. Okay, if this was put to government, I would call on government to answer. I can't answer on their behalf. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate Honorable Jonathan Odur, who was more direct, like the others who intended to reopen debate that we had yesterday. I do understand the anxiety and the need to know what is going on following the decision of the Supreme Court. But I want you to understand that there are procedures, there are processes to be followed. As Attorney General's chambers, we would expect that if the court-martial is to hand over the files, because remember the Supreme Court says the trials should cease and be transferred. So once they do that, they would copy us in as Attorney General's chambers. We have not yet received that copy. And I'm not going to stand here before Parliament and commit and say we'll table a copy of the transfer list, because I do not know how fast it is being worked upon. However, what I can say as Attorney General's chambers, that we will continue to engage with the court-martial and the others involved to see to it that this judgment is put in effect. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Attorney General. I don't have anyone on the floor. Yes. I think what Attorney General has answered is in relation to yesterday's. Since yesterday there are no new updates. If I
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. With all due respect to the Land Attorney General, he has just made a huge contradiction of his superior. Yesterday, his superior informed this House that as far as the court ruling and orders stand, there is no court-martial in existence. For him, he's informing us that he is still engaging with the court-martial. Mr. Speaker, sir. So which is which?
And I think that's why we need to give them time to go and reconcile among themselves. To know. because I think maybe the deputy has not yet been updated on what the Attorney General is having, or I don't know. So
I have said clearly, in as far as the enforcement of the Supreme Court order is concerned, the organs that are supposed to enforce it have not copied to us the steps being taken. What the Attorney General presented yesterday.
Order, point of order.
You see, Mr. Speaker, I now can understand why the Honorable Kafuzi left FDs to join NRM. You are the one who went to court. You are the Attorney General. And the court gave you instructions. Now you are saying they haven't copied it to you. Where were you? You went to court, took a matter. The Supreme Court made a ruling. Is the Honorable Kafuzi in order to pretend that he must be activated by people who didn't go to court? Yet it is the Attorney General's chambers that went to court. Is he in order?
I think these are quarrels between OBs, because you can see even how they started. I understand why you left us, you went here, you know, these are quarrels between OBs, which can be solved in court. But, honorable colleagues, tomorrow we expect to have a Minister for Justice here, and he's the one who oversees the justice, law and justice sector. I will require him to update us, to give us an update in terms of implementation. The one who oversees the whole sector of land justice. It is, let's handle it that way. Next item.
Now, I know everyone knows, understands why we need to change the government. Because we've been here knowing what makes a government: executive, parliament, judiciary. But now, one arm of the government says it's useless. The judiciary pronounced so that we stand, we are the government, we are the arm of the government, right? Now, the third arm of government, that's parliament, is saying, proclaiming itself that we're useless, we're not part of government, we're just here to talk. Then go home, sleep. Go tell your people, your voters, that we are useless. We can't do anything for them, yo. We just here to waste time, bro. Now, why are you spending taxpayers' money on your salaries, on your per diems, on your movements, when you can't help us, bro? Why don't you just go home and sleep, bro? Man, bana abantu bali wano kutubba, kutubuguyaza, kutufuula bimongwa, bisilusilu, bidongo, yet they are eating our money. Bro, lwaki temuddeyo mwene mwebaka? You know, taking yourself as part of the government who can decide for where the country is going, bro. Somebody is breaking the constitution, is breaking the law, and you can't call that guy to order, and then you call yourself parliament. No. Yet you are the one who formulated, built, put in order that constitution, that law we're following. You are the one who made it, bro. And you can't put someone to order for what you made, bro. Now, what's your purpose? Just to talk, and go home. Our money is just being used for nothing, bro. Let's get up. Let's rise up, protest, vote, bro, and fight for our country, because these guys and a bunch of fools just here eating our money, bro. We need to do something as we Ugandans, because these people, they're just here wasting our time, just here eating our money and doing nothing for us. How could you say that, bro? You mean the government can go on, can survive without the one arm of the government? One arm of it? Now let's leave. The judicial pronounce itself is pro-people now. Yeah? Now, the government executive is just there saying, we are pro-government, we pro-person, we pro-Museveni, no pro-people, right? Now, the parliament, instead of itself pronouncing that we pro-people with the courts of law, they're saying useless stuff here that we can't do anything. Now, also they are saying we are pro-person, we are pro-Museveni. As the executive, Plum 7, and now the parliament, Plum 7, no pro people. What's your purpose here? Jesus Christ must come down on earth, bro, and help us here. But you Ugandans, you voters, it's your time, it's your duty to know all the power belongs to you. Let's scrap off this government, General 7, and put a government that will follow the laws, bro. Bye-bye.